more productive, more transparent, better visibility, so that essentially they can build more stuff and hopefully make a bit more money.
This episode was recorded live at Digital Construction Week at the Excel in London, where I interviewed some of the best and brightest in the built environment for a revealing look at innovation and technology. With over 25 years of experience in the construction industry, Roger Bradbury has gone from T-boy to managing director of a £30 million construction company. Like most construction businesses, Wren was run with spreadsheets, pen, and paper. Not only was record keeping, timesheets, health and safety, compliance, etc., a huge burden, but this meant that the whole company had only a backwards view of costs and resources. As you can imagine, Wren was growing. So were Roger's frustrations. He realised that the construction industry was flying blind and decided to fix it. And so in 2016, Roger founded Chime Software to solve the daily headaches he was facing at Wren. Over the past 8 years, with huge amounts of hard work, testing, building, and more testing, Chime has evolved to be a key construction software used by tens of thousands of operatives each day and saving construction businesses thousands in hours and budget. As Roger can happily chat about how Chime has revolutionized Wren construction and hundreds of other companies too for hours, or so we've been told. Let's try and condense these hours into a neat podcast showcasing the transformation Roger has brought to the industry through site management technology. Roger, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks for having me on. Very exciting.
Yeah, excellent. Let's get going on this one. So, if you don't mind me saying, Chime Software is revolutionising the construction site management industry.
We like to think so, Peter. We like to think so.
Okay, yeah. Excellent. You make better use of the data from time and attendance to the likes of skill management.
Yeah.
This was born out of a frustration for management by spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Set the scene for us here before we go any further. How did Chime come about and what's the score today?
No dramas. Basically, I'm a builder and I have a building company, set a building company up about 15 years ago called Wren Construction. I had, I guess, the normal headaches that a growing construction company would have across the whole spectrum of the business, the labour, costs, commercials, managing information, all of it.
Yeah.
And I went to the market. This was probably 7, 8 years ago. I went to the market, looked at a lot of products. Well, I didn't actually, because there weren't many products. That is a really interesting point to see. There were very little options only 7 years ago. And I didn't think any of them solved my problems.
Yeah.
So a very good friend of mine, who I went to school with since I was 9 years old, is a software developer. Yeah. And he did, on his train to work every day and back, he gave me his time. So I paid him like a day a week and he gave me his train time. And he converted a spreadsheet that we had on our server in the office onto a database.
Okay.
And that genuinely revolutionized the way we managed our purchase orders and payments. And we grew from 4 to 20 million in a pace of 2 or 3 years.
Right.
And we had a lot of pains, but we didn't really have the pains you'd imagine you'd have with, really that was about generating orders, reconciling invoices. So I basically realized that we'd produce something that was valuable. And I got a mate of mine from uni, funny enough, who was he was a City guy, was in City. He came across, we set up Chime Software as a business, and we've been going at it ever since. So that's kind of the genesis story of Chime. Yeah. Just the three of us are in it, but now we're a 20-man team. We've got 180, nearly 200 clients. We're growing, a surprising, pace, but because we spent 4 years kind of wandering around in the desert almost, because we could have gone down lots of different routes. Because there are lots of areas of running a building company or running a building project, but we really ended up, our customers led us there, our few first customers, and Wren, the company I work with, workforce management. So we're predominantly a workforce management solution, really for subcontractors. So it gives them transparency and visibility of the business, and it essentially can control the costs.
Okay. Yeah, excellent. And the founders are still there, aren't they?
Yeah. So the three of us are still there, still plugging away. I mean, we've grown significantly in the last 18 months. We've gone from 20 to 180 customers in the last 18 months, roughly.
Yeah.
So it's been a really exciting 18 months, and look forward to the next, I guess. So.
Right, fantastic. Right, okay. So, according to a Cornerstone Project survey, which was in 2022, 91% of projects experienced some sort of delay.
Yeah.
Which has increased, not decreased, over the past 6 years.
Yeah.
When there's a slippage in a project, it can cause a ripple effect, as you'll know, across the entire supply chain.
Yeah.
And with margins so thin, this can be a disaster for those that can't absorb additional costs.
Yeah.
How do we stop this, or at least improve upon the only 9% of projects where delays aren't happening?
Well, probably by putting realistic programs in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know how often you hear someone say that.
Yeah.
Like, everyone fights for the work, and they say I'll do it in 30 weeks, not 34 weeks, and then it takes 34 weeks, and they're 4 weeks late.
Or 68.
Exactly. They're difficult. Construction projects are complicated.
Yeah.
There's lots of stakeholders. It's all about getting the sequence of events correct. Design, procurement, and then having the right people on the job to do it. So, I think they're very complicated, and I think people underestimate how complicated construction is. I know Ellie's a good example. Ellie was a teacher before she joined Wren, and another guy that worked with us called Guy, and he was in the army, and both of them were just overwhelmed by how complicated and difficult the construction industry is. I think they thought it would be like straightforward, and it's almost got to. This comes down to the reputation of the industry to some extent. Like, I don't think people's perception of the industry slightly reflects the reality of the industry.
Okay.
But anyway, back to your point about as a technology speeding things up. Well, from our perspective, we tend to help the businesses speed up their processes. So a good example for us was a customer recently gave us a testimony, and they said that we'd reduced their payroll process from 2 days to 2 hours.
Okay.
So we that's a lot of where we're gaining gains. We're gaining in that sort of administrative work.
Yeah.
We don't have the lads running around on a Friday worried about their pay. Why am I 2 hours short? We pick up those problems. We deal with those problems. Also, we have everyone has a mobile device. There's no queuing. We've got a few various options of signing in, but most of our customers use the app.
Yeah.
You don't have to queue to get on your phone out and sign in. So that's where arguably we help that process. But I would say, the reasons why construction projects are late are very, very many.
Yeah.
And, are they really late as well? What was that stat? 90%?
It was, 91%. This was in 22. So 91% of projects experienced some sort of delay. Right. So that could be minor.
Because I would say, like, we at Wren, but if we consider the fact that extensions of times are granted, but I don't think we've ever been 15 years. I don't ever think we've delivered a project though.
Yeah,
genuinely. I mean, I might, as a couple that are springing to my mind that were grey, right? Someone would tell you it was late.
Yeah, gosh, yeah.
But do you know what I mean? So, and the industry bends over backwards to try and get these jobs built.
Yeah, yeah.
We had all sorts of nonsense thrown at us at the last minute. This change, that change, and then we're expected to swallow that change within the program. You got to design the steel, you got to buy the steel, you got to fabricate the steel, you got to install the steel, and the pads aren't in when you come to install it. Yeah, and on it goes, and round it goes. But
yeah, almost. We create our own problems, don't we? Sometimes.
Yeah, I just think it's the nature of the beast. Yeah. I think the biggest problem in the moment in the industry is a lack of people.
Okay,
I think that's, and that's where the tech I think is going to come in. Like it's daunting but exciting how you can imagine. I mean, we're currently working on integrating sort of rules engines and AI in a buying process. So I've got this idea of having an AI buyer in the office. They're really going to be a co-pilot.
Yeah.
But it might mean you don't have 3 buyers, you only have 2.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or you grow without taking on more. and that is, I believe, has to happen because we don't have the people. We don't have the people, the engineers, the architects, the project managers, the electricians, the plumbers, the ground workers.
Yeah, anyone.
We don't have anyone. Like it's really fucking. It's really bad.
It's really fascinating hearing you talk about AI like that. Because a couple of episodes ago, it was focused on AI.
Yeah, okay.
And the overriding conversation or the soundbite that I was left with was the fact that with AI in the future, it won't steal jobs. It won't take over the world. It'll be like everybody having their own personal assistant or their own intern.
Yeah. Exactly. Well,
what you've just said.
Yeah,
basically.
I think you'll get co-piloting. I do, and I guess there's a lot of people out there that are going to be using the data to predict things in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we can predict your payroll next week if we looked at the last 3 weeks' payroll. It's all to play for.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
I'm obsessed with ChatGPT at the moment.
Okay, so moving on slightly.
Yeah.
The same study that I mentioned that we cited, it also discovered that the main reasons projects were delayed, and it'll be no surprise, were unrealistic planning,
Yeah.
resource issues, or information issues.
Yeah.
In reading some of your own case studies,
Yeah.
one client, which I think you just mentioned there, saw a reduction in time of 80% just from better timesheet management, which is pretty cool. Can you talk us through some other successes you're seeing with your clients?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing there's a big win on compliance. So a skills matrix. We all have to have a skills matrix, right?
Okay.
Who's in your company? What skills have they got? Now, I've just been chatting with someone just now, funny enough, a ground worker, 250 men. Imagine the size of their skills matrix spreadsheet. It makes it ridiculous. The only thing you know about that spreadsheet is it's wrong.
Yeah.
A bit like a drawing. And so we've built a system where you have a live skills matrix. You get alerts for when each individual's CSCS, forklift, whatever the certificate might be, pops up. We're linking in. We're linking in with all the bodies, the CITB, so that can be verified. That is an area where you're definitely going to save someone time because if you think about how they would have done that before, you'd have an Excel spreadsheet with someone's name on, then you'd have a PDF document.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's ridiculous when you think about it. So we solve problems like that. The signing of risk assessments, method statements, toolbox talks, we do all that digitally. I could tell you now, what happens, a claim will come through. So-and-so was on your site on the 6th of December, 2015, 2016. We can go back in history and see the risk assessments that you signed, the toolbox talks that he's had, the fact that he was inducted. That's all there. It's in the cloud.
Yeah.
It can be achieved. I mean, it's just saving everybody time, but it's actually just making them compliant.
Yeah.
Like, if there was ever an accident on site, the first thing I would say is, did they sign in? Have they been inducted? And have they signed their RAMs? And if I could say yes confidently to those three, I felt a lot less pressure.
Okay.
It depends on the accident, depends on the circumstances, but 99 times out of 100, they've just worked outside their risk assessment method statement, which obviously helps.
Yeah.
Deal with the situation.
Okay. So talking about the trade and sticking with that in kind of a way, but the software you've created, for me, it has that trifecta of people, data, and collaboration, which is key within the industry. Yeah. And as we've discussed, the industry needs this type of software just purely to survive and exist in any form. How are you convincing those that are less tech savvy that it's the future? So I'm thinking of those on site, which we talked about time management and stuff.
Yeah. So again, our software is in the hands of the operatives. So they're not desk bound. They're not used to using Outlook and Power Project and even Excel necessarily, or Word or PowerPoint or all those various bits of kit. But they are used to using an iPhone or Android. COVID changed a lot. You had to download an app to order a Nando's from COVID.
Yes.
Prior to COVID, we were beating a bit of kickback on the businesses thinking it would be okay to ask their guys to download an app on their phone. That really hasn't been a problem. I can confidently say if they haven't got a phone, we've got various options.
Yeah.
You can sign in on a tablet, or I could sign you in if I got the permissions. So we've been around the houses. Everyone's got a smartphone. Everyone uses a smartphone. Your banking app's on your smartphone.
Yeah.
I sort of don't. It's more about the training of it and making it work first time and not just go, bloody app doesn't work. I mean, we all know the frustration of technology that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't quite do what it was supposed to do. And so you've got to make it, I always think with tech, you've got to make it fun to use to a point, nice to use. I think Apple's like the symbol of that is the iPhone. Remember when you first got the iPhone, it was like, this is magic. And obviously, I wouldn't suggest that Chime is magic, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's bordering on magic.
I think it is. Actually.
Yeah.
Like refrigeration, magic.
Excellent. When you start to engage with a new client, I can imagine there's a lot of hurdles to get over in terms of current data, transition to using a different type of software. Is there a quick and seamless way to do this? And if someone is still using spreadsheets or multiple generic platforms, what would your advice be to prep?
Oh, we're an expert
for a transition. Go on.
Because they do have the information, right? It's not like they don't know the person's name, they don't know his telephone number, and they don't know his pay rate, right? They know all of that. So they just put it in a spreadsheet. We give them the fields that we expect. They give it, and then we upload it into the system. Automatically, that could be 1,000 men. So 1,000 men upload an XLS or a CSV file into the system, and 1,000 men will get a text message. They'll follow the wizard. I'll be up and running in no time. So change is one of the, change is difficult. Change is always difficult. You've got to try and sell it to people that there's a benefit to them. So we give the operatives within the system the ability to see the hours that are like unapproved. So if it's a Thursday night, maybe I'm at home, I know that Monday I did 9 hours, Tuesday I did 8 hours, and it's all there. And I've got the ability to say, hang on, no, Tuesday I forgot to sign out.
Yeah,
you know, I was there because various rules can be in place to say if you don't sign out, it goes to 1 or 0.
Yeah.
So there's got to be like a benefit, or you've got to try and make it so that the operatives are this is cool, this is helpful. Even having their own skills on their phone, like if you ask a scaffolder for his CSCS card, he phones his missus. He phones his missus every time. So now it's on his app on his phone, along with whatever else he's got on.
Yeah.
Betfred.
And anyone can use that. Like you say, there's banking, there's video, whatever you do on a smartphone or smart device.
Yeah.
It's you can apply that to your working environment and make your life a lot easier.
Well, that's it. And we try to do that. You know, we're trying to make specialist contractors their working day easier.
Yeah.
More productive, more transparent, better visibility, so that essentially they can build more stuff and hopefully make a bit more money.
Build more stuff. Yeah. Love that.
Just keep building, keep digging.
Yeah, simple as that.
Keep digging.
Right, let's have a look at the future then.
Yeah.
There's immense potential in tech in site management. And I think for many organizations that bar is quite low at this moment in time. What changes do you see over the next few years within site management, within construction?
Difficult, I think. So, I mean, the problem with site management is they're not doing it anymore. They're too busy fucking filling forms in and managing, juggling paperwork.
Yeah.
So what?
Admin.
So, admin. And I think I've always thought this. If you became a site manager, you did it because you don't want to do admin. By definition.
Yeah.
I want to work on a building site. What do you mean I've got to sit at my desk filling out forms?
Yeah.
So you've got the wrong people doing the wrong jobs. And so again, you've just got to make doing their checklists easy, allocating tasks to other people easy, visibility of what's going on their site easy. Because I do think I know it's a bit of a buzzword, but mental health in the construction industry, a lot of it does come from people not really knowing what they haven't done.
Okay.
And this sort of unease that there must be something somewhere that I haven't done. There must be a form somewhere that hasn't been filled in. There must be like they in the back of their mind, they think someone could come down here and basically shaft me, right? And and that gives you like that sense of anxiety. And I think that's real. And again, you talked about the timescales. You know, working to very tight timescale.
Yeah.
Having to have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? Have you done that? And you know. If we can make that easier, and you said it earlier, like an AI, like a co-pilot. Morning, Peter. How's it going, man? Yeah, really good. Good night's sleep. Yeah, really good. Right, but just to let you know, all the sparks are in, all the plumbers are in. Let's get your welfare checklist done. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, happy days, Peter. You're all compliant. Go and have a cup of tea. Go and have a look at the foundations on grid line 6. I don't know, but do you see what I mean? Like, I think that's really possible. I really do. In fact, I think it's really possible.
And I don't think every day needs to be stressful, but for some reason we try and make them stressful.
Mate, construction sites are stressful places.
I'm not saying they're not.
No, I know you're not. I know you're
not.
And I know you're not. But they are almost continuously stressful place. And that's what I noticed, because that's all I've known, of course.
Yeah.
But what I noticed when people came from outside, so Eddie's a great example from teaching, and Guy was in Afghanistan. This guy called Guy, he was at a fit-out job in Canary Wharf. We were doing the ceilings and walls, and he'd obviously been on a sander, and he was covered in head to toe in plasterboard dust. And he said to me, "I'm not joking, Roger. This is more stressful than Afghanistan." I'm not, and he meant it. Like, he meant it. Because in Afghanistan, like in your army, they give you a playbook. Like, it's command. Like,
yeah, step by step.
Step by step. There's a situation. There's a tank over there. There's a gun over there. You do this.
Yeah.
Construction is like, good luck, mate.
Yeah. You clock in.
Good luck getting this built in 3 weeks. And they're stuck there. So it's like, anyway.
Yeah, you've got a point. You've got a point. Right, okay. So finally. Yep. We're here at Digital Construction Week.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts.
No, it's really, I've got to be honest with you. I always come here. I've been here 6 times now.
Okay.
And we always come here, maybe not 6, but we were talking earlier. I can only remember 3, I think, but it's definitely not 3, apparently. Hands down, I think this has been the best 3 or 4. We've been here, so it's now like Wednesday lunchtime. We've been here for only about 3 hours. Hands down, the best 3 hours for us as a business. And I don't know whether that means more people are coming and paying interest in construction technology. And interestingly, of those more people, I used to find that it was generally consultants, main contractors with like a department of people looking at change management on a bit of a jolly. Only joking, boys. But now there's our real target customers. We've got subcontractors walking past.
Brilliant.
I think we've done a bit with our messaging. I think that's really helped what we were talking about before the pod.
Yeah.
Like, people stop, look, resonates, come for a chat. So no, I think it's been great. And I love coming here, but I'm always a bit cynical that our punters are here.
Yeah.
But it feels like they are.
Okay.
Today, which is
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Well, long may that continue.
Yeah. Well,
thank you so much for joining me today.
thank you, Pete.
Absolute pleasure.
That was great fun. Cheers, man. Thanks a lot, mate.